Hello, it's me, it is I. Today we are discussing the NinjaOne integration. So you may already have it set up, but are you using it to its fullest potential? Well, I don't know that. To be honest with you, that is something for you to tell me. But essentially today I'm going to show you the NinjaOne integration in all of its glory. I'm going to show you what it can do and hopefully not what it can't do. But with that being said, I'm going to do it a bit different today. I'm going to show you what it can do to start off with, and then part 2 of this video will be how to set all of the moving parts up. So let's jump straight into it. Let's jump into this scene. Let's jump straight to assets. So there's a few things that the integration can do. It can pull all your assets from Ninja, giving you a bit of a relationship so you can jump from Halo to that asset. It can process alerts from your devices from Ninja, so you can get an alert in Ninja, it can be pulled into Halo. And tertiary to that, you can have a tray icon where your end users can submit tickets and it will map them and the asset, as long as all these moving pieces are together, to give you a seamless workflow. So let's start with an asset, and I'm going to leak my public IP address here, and I'm going to have to edit it in post, which I never normally do, but here we go. IT Crowd, this is one of my home servers. It is a lovely PowerEdge T310. And my IP address is here that I'm going to have to blank out. So I've currently pulled through every single field possible from Ninja. So I've got the domain role, the domain, how much RAM it's got, when it was last booted, you know, what its manufacturer is, everything I can basically pull from it. And that is completely up to you. You can map what assets you want to pull in from Ninja. So some people just pull a few of the core things like memory, CPU, you know, when it was last rebooted, etc. Other people pull everything in. It just that comes down to you, but I'll show you how to handle that. Secondly, you get a button on the asset once they're mapped, which if clicked will take you directly to Ninja. So this is my Ninja NFR here, or it says trial, I don't know why, but essentially I have renada.rmmservice.eu, so custom URL, and when I click that button, it takes me directly to Ninja. Again, public IP leaked, fantastic, go me. Next, we have alerts. So if we go to the service desk, go to alerts, you will see that we have this alert here. So this is a automatic alert. I can't believe it, but my Windows Server print spooler stopped working and I still haven't fixed it. But what's really nice about this is that it adds the asset to the ticket for you. So if we look down here on the right hand side, we have this Ninja button. Again, I can click that. It will take me to the asset in Ninja, just speeding up your workflow. Also, because it's making these tickets in here, you can start reporting on, do we have a certain asset that makes a lot of tickets? Do we have a certain amount of tickets? You know, we could, if we know it's Windows service, you know, we could run a report, show me all the tickets in the past 90 days that have been because of a Windows service, etc., etc. And finally, as I mentioned at the start, we can have the tray icon. So I'll show you this in reverse, if you will. But a customer can go to their device. They can click on the tray icon, which I will show you momentarily. They can log a ticket. And then once that comes into Halo, that will match that against the correct customer and also match that against the correct device, as long as all of those moving pieces are set up. And that, I believe, is all I need to showcase for you. Now, a few things to note is that because you have all the assets in here, you can then present all of the customer's assets to the customer. So you can say, you know, here are all of the servers you have, here are all of the assets you have. You can show that on the portal. You could show that on the bottom of an invoice if you wanted to. You could go one step further and you could manually map all of the users to the assets as well. So you could show on the portal or an invoice who has what asset. Ninja does try, and I believe this is the case. Let me just double check. Yeah, it does attempt to match the user based on the last logged in user. The problem is there's so many variables associated with that. If you have all of your devices in Intune and they all log in with an Azure AD account, then it will be easier to match, but then I would say you'd be matching them on Intune anyway, so it's 6 and 2 3s. Don't get hung up on this during this implementation. But essentially that is it. That is the core of the integration. You know, it just helps you speed up your workflow. It means when you're going to the service desk, you're logging a ticket, you can make sure you're attaching the assets, again, just to speed up that process. You'll see here as well that what's coming from Ninja is a lot of information, so it's showing you, public IP again. I'm going to spend half my time sanitizing this video, but it's showing you information about that asset to hopefully speed up your time to resolution. So part 2 is, how do we set all this up? Well, fortunately, the Ninja integration is very easy. I'm going to disconnect to prove such a thing. So the first thing you want to do is go to Configuration and Integrations in the bottom left. When you click Integrations, you'll be presented with a big page, and you'll see on here NinjaOne. What you want to do is hover over it and click on the plus. So this is NinjaOne. You click on the plus, and that then will appear in the bottom left hand side under Integrations, or you can alternatively just click on it to go to the NinjaOne page. The first thing you then want to do is click on the Connect button. Why this isn't loading is a mystery to me. Quick refresh. There we go. You want to click on the Connect button. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you'll have to select the right region. Are you in Australia, USA, Canada, or Europe? I am obviously in the United Kingdom, so Europe is the location of my server. I then want to click Connect. This will then redirect me to Ninja. This is where I can then grab my Ninja credentials. That is my email address. This is my long password. And then I can MFA in. Let me just go ahead and do that now for you. I'll do it live. Look at this. NinjaOne, where art thou? Here we are. And then basically say, do you want to allow HaloPSA to pull all this information from Ninja? As a matter of fact, I do. Then it will basically ask us to import all of the organizations and locations. Now, this is very important that you do slowly and very important that you do carefully. If you just click this import locations and organizations button and press start, if the names don't exactly match what is in your customers section, you will end up with duplicates. Now, the problem with this is that can be amplified massively, because if you then have this writing to integrations like QuickBooks or Xero or IT Glue, you can end up with a complete data mess very quickly. So just really slow down before you do this. What you need to do is match all of your Ninja customers to all of your customers inside of Halo. And the way you do that, if I just delete mine, I will show you, is you click the Add button. And I always start with the Ninja organization at the bottom. Now, for me, I only have one organization inside of Ninja, and that is called Internal Infrastructure for me. So I would select that, and then I would select the Halo customer that I want to match it to. If I don't have one, it's going to create it. Bear that in mind. I then press Save. It will then say, what sites do you want to match? Now, again, if you've only got main office, you can match main office to main office or main to main, and it will then create the additional sites for you underneath that company. Again, if you do want to match the sites because you've already got a bunch of sites inside of Halo, then you will have to go through this process. It is unfortunately quite tedious. I had to do this originally 1,300 times for many integrations, so trust me when I say I feel your pain. But essentially, you want to make sure all these are matched. Once you think you've nailed that, and you click this Import Organizations and Locations button, the way I work, and I will demonstrate this just for the sake of it, is I will split side by side my Ninja integration. I don't know why I'm doing this fully, but let's suck eggs here, why not? Oh God. I'll stop it. Yes, I know I should snap, but hey. What I do is I pull up my customers page and I pull up my import page here, and as soon as I click start, I spam this refresh button. I do this on every build, I always do, and if this number changes during this process, because it shouldn't, I click stop really quickly and I try and work out what happened. If you just press start and then sit back and you've not thought something through, you could very quickly have a world of pain. Don't know why I put the hand behind the head. It was not needed, but you get the idea. So just be very careful with this bit, please. After that, things get a little bit more easier. to manage. So we're going to start with devices and software. Default site. Assets will be assigned to this site if their location hasn't been matched. So if you're importing your assets, which is the next part, and they're going to unknown, 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 that's because the site doesn't match the site in Ninja. So bear that in mind. Second of all, you've got the default groups for new assets. Again, we should never need this. But if the asset type isn't in Halo, what do we want the asset to be displayed as in Halo? I just put laptop and workstation. You could do other hardware. It doesn't really matter. This should never be applicable, essentially. Field for determining the asset type. For me, you want it to be node class. That will display if it's a server, a workstation, a Mac device, etc. If you do device type, I think it always just says agent device. I will demonstrate that in a minute. And then asset matching fields. For me, I typically do serial number. In certain situations, I can do MAC address. It just really depends. If you have no assets inside of... Let me just close that team just a sec. If you have no assets inside of Halo, it doesn't matter. Just, click it away. But if you do have assets in here already, you want to make sure that you're matching on fields that already exist inside of Halo. So again, just bear that in mind. The next bit down is field mapping. So what fields do we want to bring in from Ninja to Halo? Well, what we do here is we basically say, I want to match the Ninja field display name to something inside of Halo. And that could be asset number, it could be something random, it doesn't really matter. It's down to you how you visualize it. But basically what you'll do is you'll select the Ninja field. I'm just going to get rid of public IP address very quickly. What you'll say here is you'll select the Ninja field, so public IP, and it'll say what do you want to match that to inside of Halo. If there isn't a field you want to explicitly match it to, you can say don't worry about it, create a new field during the next import, and it will then make that field inside of Halo for you. It will then say user matching field, Windows username is fine, and attempt to match the user based on the last login is also fine. Again, mileage will vary. And then we simply click import devices and software, and then we can import all of those assets from Ninja into HaloPSA. You'll see here that node class displays Windows Workstation and Windows Server, whereas the device type just shows agent device, which isn't that useful. If during an import you get loads of fails, it is because you've tried to match IP address list to the field IP address. I can almost guarantee this has caught one of you out in this video. But essentially the field inside of Halo IP address is a single integer, I believe, whereas IP address list is obviously multiple IP addresses. I think it has the MAC address in there as well. So just again, be mindful of that. But once you're happy with all these fields, you can click import devices. Don't panic, because if you forget to add a field, you can simply add it in, import them again, and it will add all those fields to your assets. So in terms of getting your organizations and locations in, you're mapping on the customers, and then to get devices and software in, we then need to import all of our devices and software. I'm now going to attend a meeting, and when I come back, which will be a short interval for you, we'll discuss how to set up the alerting and what the Halo Integrator means. So jump cut, I'll be back in 2 seconds time for you. It's been literally days since that jump cut. I'm so sorry. It's been almost a week since this video should have gone out. I got ill and then busy, and here we are. But we're back, jump cut later. Let's talk about alerting. So the other cool thing about Ninja is that we can obviously get our alerts from Ninja processed into HaloPSA as tickets. Now, an introduction, I can't remember when it was actually done, some point this year, they've basically enabled now alert processing via webhooks. So the old method used to be you could get alerts in via a mailbox, and they would come into Halo, and then you would process them, right? Whereas now you get it via webhooks, and that allows a few things really. You get more information with them now, but also you have the ability for them to be closed and opened automatically. And what I mean by that is if a alert is resolved inside of Ninja, it'll actually write that back to Halo and then close the ticket inside of Halo. This way you're not having to cross-check all the time the platform. So it's super simple to set this up inside of Halo. What you want to do is make sure you have a ticket type set. So, you know, when the alert comes in from the webhook, what ticket type do you want it to make? And I recommend doing alert or something similar, Ninja alert or whatever makes sense to you. New alert user, this basically says if we don't know what customer this links to inside of Halo or what user, where do we put it? And I've just said, you know, make sure we do it to general user. Make sure we tick this box, enable alert processing via webhooks. And also this is really cool to have the automatically closed tickets that are marked as red if they're not assigned, which again is fantastic. You know, closing the tickets off is what you basically want to happen. Secondly, how do I word this? You've got to set somewhat up inside of Ninja as well. And we've got to set up that webhook URL as the notification channel inside of Ninja. So what I'm just going to do is switch to Ninja quickly to show you how to do this. So where you want to first go to is config. If I just go to the home page, go to administration, sorry. Then go down to apps. Then go to notification channels and you'll click add. And basically what you're doing is you're adding in your webhook URL, which in my case is presented to me down here. So it's grenadertesting.halopsa.com/ and then API notify Ninja alerts, API notify Ninja alerts. Cool, then enable it. Now that won't do anything off the bat. What you then need to do is basically apply these notifications channels to your alerts. So if we go down to let's say a workstation policy here, and we go to the, where do I do it? Let me just pause a second, figure this out. Sorry, there we go. Then we need to go to the policy, and then basically on each notification, we need to give it a channel. So we need to say if the print spooler service is down, click it, then add a channel to say also send this alert to HaloPSA. Now this can be a little bit cumbersome to start off with, but it's quite quick. You go through and say, yeah, high CPU usage, send it to HaloPSA. High disk usage, send it to HaloPSA. And basically you need to go through these in your policies. Just go back a little bit. Go through all of your policies and basically update them accordingly and add in the relevant notification channels, and then they will appear inside of HaloPSA for you. Finally, on this page, we have the Halo Integrator. Well, actually, there's two. Jumping the gun. We have the Halo Integrator. Now, this is basically what is used to sync every day the devices from Ninja into Halo. Now, if you enable this and you click enable and it doesn't run, the first thing you must check is if you go to the HaloPSA API, no, Halo Integrator, sorry, you need to make sure that you have agent to log in as, and you need to make sure you have something set here. If you don't have an agent set here, set an agent. If you do have an agent set here and it's still not running, as in there's still no last run date after 24 hours, reach out to support@halopsa.com. This is a backend service that they run, and by default, Halo runs once a day. I think it's around midnight to 1 AM, as you see mine here is around midnight. But if this isn't running for you, reach out to support and they'll do it. There's nothing you need to do. You don't need to install the integrator yourselves. I let Halo handle it. If you need the syncs to run more frequently, email support and they'll see what they can do for you. But if you need it to run like every 20 minutes, for instance, then I would then recommend running the integrator yourself. Again, you typically don't need that, but just bear it in mind. So that is that. And finally, at the bottom, we've got the miscellaneous section. So we have deactivate assets in HaloPSA when they are deleted from Ninja RMM. I go with yes. You don't want to see them in Halo if they're not active in Ninja RMM. And finally, but most importantly, we have this URL to use for Ninja RMM deep links. Now, what this basically means is if I get rid of this very quickly and go over to my assets and click on any of these assets. Now this might work, make me look silly. No, there we go. It will redirect me to the generic Ninja page, which is the, for me, EU-API Ninja RMM. The problem with this will make you authenticate every single time you select an asset. Now, because I've got custom branding set up inside of my Ninja, I actually have my own Ninja URL. But what you can do is go to configuration and then drop that in. Oh, Jesus. Drop that in down below. Now, if you don't have a custom link, what you can also do, and I'll try and demonstrate this as best as possible, is if I click this Ninja RMM, which is the generic Ninja page, but actually authenticate. Bear with me while I pull up my authentication device. My 8-year-old phone. I know, tech modern. Okay, for me it's the same. Some people will get redirected to a different Ninja RMM page when they log in. That's the URL you need to capture. But for me, it is purely going to be my custom link. Not that, that is my password. My custom link, which is, where are we here? My Renada RMM service.eu. I am now going to go and change my Ninja password because I'm not bothered to synthesize that out. But that is essentially that. And it means that whenever you click these links inside of Halo, it will direct you to the correct page inside of Ninja. And that is basically that for this section. And finally, we're going to touch on the tray icon. And oh my lord, have I spent way too much of my time helping customers with this tray icon because it is not overly intuitive. What do I mean by the tray icon? Well, let me just pause and pull up my server for you very quickly. What you can do with the tray icon is, I'm sure you're aware if you use Ninja, but you can basically have it so you can log a support ticket. Now the problem is that this is just going to send an email into Halo, and it doesn't work out of the box. It doesn't process that email correctly and doesn't assign the device and doesn't assign the user correctly. There's one piece of the puzzle that you must set up to get this working. So let me just demonstrate very quickly what you need to do. You need to basically go into Halo, go to configuration in the bottom left, go all the way up to email, and then go to email rules. Now, before you click anything in here, be very, 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 very careful. Because if you add an email rule incorrectly, it can break your entire email processing for in and outbound. So just be really careful. I think it's actually inbound, but just be very, very careful. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to create a new one in the top right hand corner. And you're going to find the email rule type called NinjaOne system tray email. And what you must ensure you do is you select the from address in here as no reply at rmmservice.com. Now if your emails from Ninja, as in the tray icon, come in via a different email address, use that. But I'm pretty sure I've only seen it from this one here. So that is no reply at rmmservice.com. Enter a rule name like Ninja. Enter a sequencing list, 1 at the top's very fine, and then just go ahead and press save. Now, if you're not fully aware what these rules are doing, and you just come in here and just start playing and touching things and you don't really know what you're doing, you can really break things. So do it slowly, do it out of hours, test it. You should be fine following this little guide here, but basically come in here, select NinjaOne system tray, typing the from address so it's only going to affect those emails anyway, and then follow this next part. So you'll see here that there is matching. Now out of the box with the Ninja, these will be here already, but if they're not, let me show you in Ninja how to do that. So what you need to do is go to the settings for the tray icon, which I'm going to have a brain meltdown here. Branding sys tray. So that's, sorry, do that slower. Administration, go to general, go to branding, go to sys tray. If you don't have one already, make one, but just bear in mind, as soon as you add and enable this, this will appear on your customer's endpoints. Be very careful with that one. Then you need to edit this, and then you basically need to make sure you've got logger support ticket. If you don't have the menu item there, go and add it. Again, it's going to appear on endpoints. But if you're happy with that and you've already got it, you want to basically edit it, and you want to basically make sure that 2 variables exist. The variables, let me just go in Halo to show you it, just to reiterate the point. The variables are email and device ID, and I'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see it, with $ and then the brackets, $ and then the brackets. You need to make sure that those exist in this basically, or at least in that format. This works perfectly well with me. I've got a $form email, and that works perfectly fine. So just make sure that you've got these variables in here. If you have stripped out email address or you have stripped out device, then obviously it's not going to be able to pass that data through to Halo. So yeah, $form email and $node ID. I have $form email, and I will definitely somewhere in here have node ID. Device ID, node ID. There you go. So just make sure that those two, zoom in a bit for you as well. Just make sure that node ID and email form are present in that menu item, and then you should be good. That should be it. That should be the Ninja integration setup as of today. And yeah, I think that is it. This has been a painful video to get out. It's taken me way too long, but that's it. I really like it. It's one of the better integrations into Halo from an RMM standpoint. Anything we can help with, let us know. As always, I've been Connor. I hope this video helps you. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.